Ryan Carter had always loved stories about legendary spaceships. As a child, he spent hours reading old space logs and watching holographic archives of daring explorers. To him, ships were more than machines. They were keys to adventures, mystery, and the unknown. So when he heard about the interstellar auction, he knew he could not miss it. The auction was small, almost empty. The grand halls of the space station were dim, with only a few bidders wandering around, scanning the lots. Ryan walked slowly past rows of ships, some sleek and new, others rusted and forgotten. Most of them were simple freighters or small cargo vessels. But then he saw it, the fabled spaceship. Even from a distance, he could tell it was different. Its hull was larger than most ships in the lot, and its design seemed old yet refined, almost like a work of art from another era. Ryan's heart raced. The ship had been the subject of many legends, stories about a vessel that could survive battles no one else could, capable of jumping through space faster than any known drive. But the official records said it had been lost for centuries, and now it was up for scrapping. Curious, he moved closer. The auctioneer's voice echoed through the hall, calling out the bids for other lots. Ryan examined the ship's surface. It was covered in dust and scratches, signs of age, but no major damage. The entry hatch seemed to slide open with almost no effort, as if it had been waiting for someone. He stepped inside. The interior was not what he expected. He had thought the ship would be broken, empty, or stripped of its important systems. Instead, it was eerily quiet, yet organized. Panels of glowing light ran along the walls, showing strange symbols and patterns he had never seen before. A faint hum resonated through the metal floor, a sound that made his stomach flutter with excitement. Ryan walked down the main corridor, feeling the weight of history around him. It smelled faintly metallic, like a ship that had been cleaned and maintained, not abandoned. As he explored, he realized that most of the systems were dormant, but intact. There were storage rooms with old equipment, control rooms with chairs that seemed almost ceremonial, and hallways that twisted in ways that made him feel like the ship had been designed more for skillful navigation than simple transport. He found himself in the cockpit. The seats were comfortable, wider than those of modern ships, and the control panels looked advanced, yet simple enough for a skilled pilot to understand. A large viewport looked out into the auction hall, but Ryan felt as though he was staring into space itself. A strange feeling passed over him, a mix of awe and fear. The auctioneer approached, a thin man with gray hair and sharp eyes. "This lot is scheduled for scrapping," he said. "It's more of a historical piece than a working ship. You'll need special clearance to move it once the auction ends." Ryan nodded. He barely listened. His mind was on the ship, on the way it made him feel. "I'll bid," he said quietly. The auction began. People walked by, barely noticing the ship. Some whispered, saying it was too old, too risky. But Ryan didn't care. He raised his hand. 50,000 credits, he said. No one else moved. The auctioneer's eyes flicked to the other bidders. Silence. Then, "Sold," he said. Ryan could hardly believe it. The fabled ship, long thought lost to history, was now his. He stepped inside again, alone, and ran his hands over the panels. He pressed a few buttons, and the lights flickered on. The hum of the engines grew stronger. The ship seemed to respond, almost like it was waking from a long sleep. Ryan felt a thrill run through him. He spent hours walking through the ship, exploring every corridor, every room. In one room, he found a storage bay filled with crates, labeled in an alien language. In another, a small laboratory with equipment he did not recognize. There were books and charts, some written in languages he could not read, others in old Terran script. Every discovery made him feel more connected to the ship. It was not just a vessel. It was a living history, a story waiting to be told. As night fell on the space station, Ryan sat in the cockpit. He had secured temporary clearance to stay aboard, but soon he would need to move the ship to a proper dock. He studied the control panels, trying to understand them. Some systems were intuitive, responding to his touch. Others required sequences and commands he had never seen. He realized that the ship had been built for someone who understood more than just piloting. It had intelligence, or at least something close to it. While exploring the ship, Ryan discovered a hidden compartment beneath the main floor. He opened it carefully and found a small chamber filled with objects that seemed personal. A helmet, a journal, and a strange, glowing crystal. The journal was old, its pages brittle, but the writing was still legible. It told stories of journeys through uncharted space, encounters with alien civilizations, and discoveries that had been erased from human records. Ryan read each entry, feeling the connection to the people who had once commanded the ship. He realized that this was not just a fabled ship because of its capabilities. It was fabled because of the people who had trusted it, relied on it, and protected it. Hours passed, and Ryan did not notice. He was completely absorbed. When he finally looked up, the auction hall was empty, silent, except for the soft hum of the ship. For the first time, he felt alone, but not lonely. The ship had accepted him in a way that no one else had. He felt a responsibility, not just to himself, but to the legacy of the ship. Ryan knew moving it would not be easy. The ship was large, old, and officially scheduled for scrapping. There were rules, regulations, and authorities that would question him. But for the first time, he didn't care. He wanted to explore, to understand, to awaken the stories hidden in every corridor, every panel, and every room. He spent the night examining the ship, making notes and sketches of the systems he could identify. Some were simple, mechanical systems for life support and navigation. Others were complex, alien designs that seemed to anticipate the pilot's thoughts. He touched a control panel, and a holographic display flickered to life, showing a map of the nearby galaxy with routes that did not match any known star charts. Ryan realized the ship had its own memory, a record of journeys that humans had forgotten. It was alive in a way that made his heart pound. He knew that the ship was more than just an object to collect. It was a partner, a mentor, and a challenge, all at once. As he prepared to rest, Ryan looked out the viewport. Stars glimmered in the distance, some distant suns, others planets that humans had never visited. He imagined flying among them, discovering lost colonies, ancient ruins, and perhaps even the origins of humanity itself. The thought made him shiver with excitement. Before he finally rested, he spoke quietly to the ship. "I don't know what you are, or what you were built for, but I promise, I will not waste you. I will understand you. And together, we will go where no one else has gone." The ship's lights dimmed, then brightened again, almost as if acknowledging his words. Ryan smiled, feeling a warmth he could not explain. For the first time, he felt that he was not alone in the universe. He slept that night on the ship's deck, listening to the hum of engines and systems. Every creak, every flicker of light felt like a heartbeat. And as he drifted into sleep, he dreamed of stars, distant worlds, and adventures waiting just beyond the next warp jump. Ryan Carter had bought the fabled spaceship on a whim. But he had gained more than a ship. He had found a story, a legacy, and perhaps a destiny. And in the quiet of the auction hall, surrounded by metal and light, he felt the first stirrings of a journey that would change not just his life, but the fate of humanity itself. By the morning, he knew what he had to do. The ship had waited centuries for someone to awaken it. He was ready. The next morning, Ryan woke to the soft hum of the ship. Light filtered through the viewport, glinting off the polished panels and reflecting in the narrow corridors. He stretched, feeling a mix of excitement and nerves. The ship was his now, but it was not a normal ship. It felt alive, and he knew that understanding it would take more than just curiosity. He started with the control panels. Some of them responded to touch, opening screens that showed star charts, systems diagnostics, and navigation routes. Others remained dark, unresponsive, or displayed symbols he could not recognize. Ryan pressed buttons cautiously, trying to learn the ship's logic. With each touch, the ship seemed to react. Lights pulsed softly, and the hum shifted in tone, almost like it was listening. Hours passed as he worked through the systems. The life support panels came online first, filling the air with fresh oxygen and a faint scent of ozone. Next, the engines hummed with a low energy that vibrated through the floor. Ryan had never seen anything like it. He checked the navigation console and found a star map, unlike any he had ever studied. Paths through space curved in ways that defied normal charts. Some routes led to known planets, but others ended in empty points, marked with strange symbols. Curious, he pressed one of the symbols. The ship reacted immediately. A holographic display appeared in front of him, projecting a three-dimensional image of a distant star system. Lines of light traced routes through the stars, connecting planets and moons in a pattern that seemed deliberate. The display shifted as if the ship was guiding him. Ryan's heart raced. He realized the ship had a memory, a record of journeys and discoveries that humans had forgotten. It was more than a vessel. It was a keeper of knowledge. And now, it had chosen him as its pilot. He decided to explore further. Ryan walked down the corridors, noticing small compartments he had not seen before. Some contained crates of supplies, old tools, and strange devices. Others had panels that, when touched, opened to reveal equipment he could not identify. He tried pressing one panel repeatedly, and a soft voice spoke through hidden speakers. "Welcome, pilot," the voice said. Ryan jumped back in surprise. It was calm and measured, not mechanical, almost human. "Who? What are you?" Ryan asked, unsure if he was imagining it. "I am the ship," the voice replied. "My designation is Aurora. I have waited long for a capable pilot. You are now in command." Ryan's eyes widened. A live ship?" he asked, still trying to process. "Not alive in the way you understand life," Aurora said. "I have memory, awareness, and operational control of my systems. I respond to intention and skill. You have been chosen because of your ingenuity and understanding." Ryan felt a thrill. He had never imagined owning a ship like this. Most ships were machines, tools, but Aurora was different. It was intelligent, aware, and ready to work with him. "I don't know if I'm ready," Ryan said, his voice shaking slightly. "I've only repaired smaller ships before." "You will learn," Aurora said. "I am capable of teaching. But first, we must awaken my full systems. Some controls remain locked until we complete initial diagnostics." Ryan nodded. He returned to the cockpit and followed the ship's instructions. Panels opened, revealing more complex systems, power conduits, energy distribution, and propulsion modules that seemed far beyond contemporary technology. Ryan studied each one, carefully following the holographic prompts. Aurora guided him like a patient teacher, responding to his mistakes and correcting them gently. By midday, the ship's systems were partially active. The engines hummed stronger, lights brightened throughout the corridors, and the navigation displays came alive with star systems and data streams. Ryan marveled at the efficiency and precision of the ship's design. Even the smallest panel seemed to have a purpose, anticipating his needs before he acted. As Ryan worked, he discovered a hidden laboratory. It was small, with equipment that glowed faintly under the ceiling lights. Strange devices lined the walls, some resembling familiar scientific instruments, others completely alien. Ryan examined a small terminal and found logs of previous journeys, detailing encounters with alien species, uncharted planets, and mysterious phenomena. One log caught his attention. It described a human colony that had disappeared decades earlier. The ship had been sent to protect and study it, but records of its mission had been erased from official archives. Ryan's pulse quickened. If the log was accurate, Aurora had witnessed history that no one else remembered. He spent hours reading the logs, learning from the ship's memory. Each entry revealed new mysteries: unusual energy readings, alien technology, and coordinates for hidden stations in deep space. Ryan realized that the ship had been more than a transport vessel. It had been a protector, explorer, and guardian of knowledge. Curiosity drove him to investigate the engineering bay. Aurora guided him through the ship's power systems, showing how to calibrate conduits, reroute energy, and optimize engine performance. Ryan marveled at the advanced technology. Some components were human-made, but others were clearly alien, designed to work in ways that defied normal understanding. Why was this ship hidden? Ryan asked Aurora as he worked. To protect knowledge, the ship replied. Many feared the power I hold. I was meant to remain lost until a capable pilot could awaken me. Ryan felt the weight of responsibility. He was not just repairing a ship, he was restoring a guardian of history and technology. Every adjustment he made, every panel he activated, felt like a step into a larger destiny. By evening, Ryan had activated the main propulsion systems. Aurora guided him through pre-flight checks, monitoring energy levels, navigation systems, and life support. The ship's hum resonated through the corridors, louder and more confident than before. I think we're ready, Ryan said, standing in the cockpit. Shall we try a short jump? Aurora responded immediately. Affirmative. I recommend a low-distance trial. I will monitor your performance and provide guidance. Ryan took a deep breath and activated the jump controls. The ship shivered slightly as energy flowed through the conduits. Lights flickered, then steadied. A sense of speed filled the cockpit as Aurora propelled them through space, faster than any ship Ryan had ever piloted. Stars stretched into lines of light, and the ship's hum became a deep, resonant vibration. When the jump ended, Ryan opened the viewport. They were in a different part of the galaxy, a region he had never seen before. Strange nebulae glowed in soft colors, and distant suns twinkled against the blackness of space. Ryan felt exhilarated and awed. Impressive, he said softly. I've never been anywhere like this. You have flown well, Aurora replied. Your instincts and decisions have proven capable. We will continue training. There are systems I have not yet revealed, and knowledge that must be unlocked gradually. Ryan spent the next few hours exploring the ship's interior. Aurora revealed hidden compartments, maintenance rooms, and storage bays filled with tools and devices that Ryan had never seen before. He learned how to control energy shields, deploy automated repair drones, and manipulate environmental systems throughout the ship. Each discovery made him more confident, but the ship also tested him. Occasionally, panels would lock, requiring Ryan to solve puzzles or reroute energy flows. Sometimes, systems would behave unpredictably, forcing him to think quickly and adapt. Aurora watched silently, offering subtle guidance, but never taking over. Ryan realized that the ship was teaching him not just to operate it, but to think and act like its true pilot. By nightfall, Ryan had grown tired but exhilarated. He sat in the cockpit, gazing at the stars. The ship had become more than metal, and circuits it felt like a living partner, responding to his thoughts, anticipating his actions, and guiding him towards something greater. I think we're ready for more, Ryan said aloud, almost to himself. There's so much to learn, so much to discover. Aurora's lights pulsed softly, Patience is necessary. Knowledge and power come with responsibility. We will proceed carefully, but we are ready for exploration." Ryan smiled. He felt a deep sense of connection to the ship. It was not just about speed or firepower. It was about trust, skill, and understanding. He was no longer just a human engineer. He was the pilot of a ship with a story, a guardian of secrets, and a key to adventures that awaited in the vast expanse of space. As he prepared to rest, Ryan reflected on the day. He had awakened a fabled ship, explored its systems, and learned to communicate with it. He had discovered logs of lost colonies, alien technology, and paths through space that no one else knew. And he knew this was only the beginning. In the quiet of the cockpit, with the stars shining through the viewport, Ryan felt a sense of purpose. He had been chosen for this mission, not just by chance, but because of his courage, curiosity, and determination. Aurora had trusted him, and he would not let it down. He settled into the pilot's seat, letting the ship's hum lull him into a calm focus. Tomorrow, he would begin a new phase of exploration, unlocking more of Aurora's secrets, understanding the true extent of its capabilities, and preparing for the adventures that awaited in uncharted space. For now, he allowed himself a moment of quiet wonder. He had found a legendary ship, awakened its systems, and formed a bond with a vessel unlike any other. And he knew that the universe would never be the same for him again. Ryan Carter had taken the first steps into a larger destiny, and the stars awaited. Ryan woke to the soft vibration of Aurora's engines, the ship already preparing for another day of exploration. The stars outside the viewport seemed brighter, closer, as if urging him onward. He stretched, feeling more confident than the day before. He had begun to understand the ship, its moods, its logic, and even its subtle way of testing him. Yet there was more waiting secrets hidden in the stars and in Aurora itself. He started by reviewing the logs he had discovered in the hidden laboratory. One entry in particular caught his attention. It described the ship's original mission. It had been sent to protect a human artifact of immense power, something that could influence energy on a scale humans had not yet understood. The artifact had been lost in time, hidden in an uncharted region of space, and Aurora had been designed to safeguard it. Ryan's pulse quickened. The ship was not just a fabled vessel, it was a guardian, and that meant danger. If anyone discovered Aurora and the artifact, it could spark conflict on a scale he could hardly imagine. "Aurora," he said, speaking aloud as he often did now. "Who else knows about this artifact?" Aurora's lights dimmed briefly, then brightened. Few remain aware. The records were erased from official archives to protect the artifact. There are factions in space who would take it for their own purposes. They have monitored my location for centuries. You must be cautious. Ryan felt a chill run down his spine. He had hoped for adventure, but now he realized there could be real danger. He looked at the star map, studying the routes Aurora suggested. One path led to an uncharted system marked with the same symbols he had seen in the logs. "I think we should investigate," he said. "If the artifact is still out there, we need to find it before anyone else does." Aurora responded immediately. "Agreed. However, we must proceed carefully. Detection is possible, and the factions that seek the artifact will act if they sense our presence." Ryan spent hours preparing the ship. He studied the propulsion systems, ensuring Aurora could make quick jumps through space. He learned to manipulate shields, adjusting their energy to avoid detection by sensors. He tested automated defense drones, setting them to respond to threats without compromising the ship's stealth. Every step taught him more about the vessel and, in turn, about himself. By late afternoon, Ryan was ready. He activated the navigation system, selecting the uncharted system. Aurora's engines hummed, vibrating through the corridors as energy coursed through the ship. Ryan felt a thrill he had never known. The ship responded to his touch and thought, flowing smoothly as they jumped into hyperspace. The jump ended with a sudden clarity. Stars blurred and then reformed, revealing a region of space strange and beautiful. Nebulae glowed in soft colors. Planets spun in irregular orbits, and asteroid fields drifted silently. The coordinates from the logs suggested the artifact could be hidden on one of these planets, though which one remained uncertain. Ryan began scanning the system. Aurora guided him, showing energy readings that matched descriptions in the logs. One planet stood out, a small, rocky world with faint signs of technology buried beneath its surface. Ryan's heart raced. "This must be it," he whispered. "The artifact is here somewhere." He prepared a landing pod, a small shuttle that could carry him to the planet's surface. Aurora projected a map of the planet, highlighting areas of interest. Ryan followed the paths carefully, avoiding unstable terrain and energy fluctuations that might signal hidden defenses. The shuttle touched down on the planet with a gentle hum. Ryan stepped out, taking in the alien landscape. Rocky cliffs rose in jagged formations, and strange plants with glowing leaves swayed in the windless environment. The air was thin, but breathable. The planet felt alive, as if it had waited centuries for someone to arrive. Ryan followed Aurora's guidance, navigating through canyons and valleys. He discovered ruins, structures built from stone and metal, half buried in the sands of time. Strange symbols adorned the walls, matching the ones he had seen throughout the ship. He traced them with his fingers, feeling a connection to the people who had built this place, and to Aurora, which seemed to understand the symbols instinctively. Hours passed as he explored, uncovering more clues about the artifact's location. He found small devices buried in the ground, some still functional, others corroded with age. Each discovery hinted at a civilization long gone, one that had understood energy manipulation far beyond human knowledge. Suddenly, the ground shook. Ryan stumbled, catching himself on a rock. He looked up and saw a fleet of alien ships entering orbit above the planet. Aurora's sensors had detected them before his eyes could. The ships were sleek, dark, and heavily armed. They had been tracking the same coordinates. "Ryan," Aurora said, her voice calm but urgent. "They are here. You must return to the shuttle immediately. We cannot allow them to reach the artifact first." Ryan ran, carrying the data he had gathered. The shuttle was waiting, engines humming. He climbed inside, and Aurora guided him into orbit. The alien ships followed, scanning aggressively. Ryan realized this was his first real test. He activated the ship's shields, adjusting energy flow to maximize defense. Aurora responded, deploying automated drones that formed a protective barrier around the shuttle. Ryan manipulated the controls, weaving through asteroid fields and using the planet's gravity to evade the alien ship's weapons. The battle was intense but brief. Aurora's advanced technology gave them an edge. The drones disabled several enemy ships, while Ryan used the shuttle's agility to dodge incoming fire. The alien fleet was skilled, but unprepared for a human pilot, working seamlessly with a sentient ship. Finally, the alien ships retreated, unable to penetrate Aurora's defenses. Ryan exhaled, feeling a mixture of relief and exhilaration. He had faced real danger, and they had survived. More importantly, he had proven that humans could think, adapt, and overcome challenges that seemed impossible. Aurora spoke softly, almost proudly. "You have performed admirably. Few would have survived this encounter. Your ingenuity and quick thinking saved us." Ryan smiled. "I couldn't have done it without you," he said. "You guided me every step of the way. For one. The moment of calm was brief. Aurora's sensors detected unusual energy readings from deeper within the planet. The artifact was still there, and someone or something was trying to access it. Ryan knew the danger was far from over. He prepared a landing pod for a second descent, this time equipped with tools and protective devices, Aurora suggested. They navigated through treacherous terrain, avoiding natural hazards and remnants of ancient defense systems left to protect the artifact. When he finally reached the location indicated by Aurora, Ryan discovered a chamber hidden beneath a rocky plateau. The entrance was narrow, but it led to a vast interior. Strange lights pulsed from the walls, and in the center, a pedestal held a small, glowing object. The artifact. Ryan approached cautiously. The artifact radiated energy, warm and powerful. He felt a tingle in his hands as he reached out, aware that this was more than a simple object. It was a source of knowledge and power, a remnant of a civilization that had mastered forces humans were only beginning to understand. As he lifted the artifact, alarms blared. Aurora detected the alien fleet returning, larger and more prepared than before. Ryan felt the weight of responsibility heavier than ever. The artifact was in his hands, and failure was not an option. Aurora guided him out of the chamber, back through the tunnels, and into the shuttle. Ryan maneuvered carefully, using every skill he had learned in the past days. The alien fleet attacked, but Ryan and Aurora worked together seamlessly, evading, defending, and outsmarting the enemy. Finally, they reached the shuttle bay on Aurora. Ryan transferred the artifact to the ship's secure storage, where energy fields protected it from harm. The ship hummed an acknowledgement, almost as if relieved. "You have done well," Aurora said. "The artifact is safe, but the threat remains. We must leave this system and continue our journey. Those who seek it will not stop." Ryan nodded, his mind racing. He had discovered the artifact, faced a hostile fleet, and survived. But he also realized that this was only the beginning. Aurora held more secrets, more missions, and more dangers. The galaxy was full of challenges, and humanity would have to prove itself capable of facing them. As Aurora jumped into hyperspace, Ryan sat in the cockpit, gazing at the stars, stretching into lines of light. He felt a mix of pride, fear, and excitement. He had awakened a legendary ship, uncovered its mission, and survived his first encounter with enemies determined to take what did not belong to them. Yet he knew the true test had only just begun. The artifact was safe, but the galaxy was vast and dangerous. And somewhere out there, enemies were planning their next move. Ryan leaned back in his seat, letting the ship's hum calm his racing thoughts. He had proven something important. Humans could think, adapt, and survive where others failed. And with Aurora at his side, he felt ready for whatever came next. The journey was far from over. The galaxy held mysteries, dangers, and legacies that humanity had forgotten. And Ryan Carter, with a fabled ship and an artifact of immense power, was at the heart of it all. For the first time, he understood what it meant to be a human among the stars. Not just a survivor, but a pioneer, a protector, and a force to be reckoned with. And as Aurora guided them through hyperspace, Ryan smiled, knowing that the adventure was only beginning. Ryan sat in the cockpit, staring at the endless stretch of stars outside the viewport. The galaxy felt alive with possibilities, but also with danger. Aurora hummed softly beneath him, a steady presence that reminded him he was not alone. He had survived alien fleets, uncovered a lost artifact, and awakened a legendary ship. Yet he knew that the greatest challenges were still ahead. Aurora spoke quietly, almost thoughtfully. "The enemies who sought the artifact are regrouping. Their fleets are larger than those we have faced. They will not stop until they have it in their possession." Ryan nodded. He had expected this. The artifact's power was too great to go unnoticed. "Then we have to be ready," he said. "We cannot let them take it. Not now. Not ever." The ship responded, guiding him toward a nearby system with hidden jump points and asteroid fields. I have identified a route that will allow us to evade most patrols, Aurora said. However, some engagement is likely unavoidable. You must be prepared for combat. Ryan's pulse quickened, but he felt ready. In the days since purchasing Aurora, he had learned to think and act like a pilot, to trust the ship, and to adapt quickly. He had faced danger before, and he knew that his human ingenuity could make a difference. As they approached the first jump point, Aurora's sensors detected movement. Alien ships appeared on the edges of the map, sleek and aggressive. Ryan adjusted the shields and prepared the defense systems. Aurora's drones formed protective patterns around the ship, ready to intercept any attack. The first wave struck quickly. Energy blasts lit up the darkness of space, bouncing off Aurora's shields. Ryan maneuvered the ship with precision, weaving through asteroid fields and using the environment to their advantage. Aurora's guidance was perfect, but the coordination required Ryan's skill, timing, and quick thinking. Hours passed in tense combat. The alien ships were relentless, attempting to outflank them, but Ryan anticipated their moves. He deployed automated drones that disabled weapons and shields on enemy vessels. The aliens were surprised by the teamwork between human and ship. They expected technology to be mechanical, predictable, but Aurora and Ryan were neither. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the alien ships retreated. Aurora's shields glowed faintly from the strain, but the ship had held. Ryan exhaled, feeling the thrill of victory mixed with exhaustion. "You did well," Aurora said softly. "Your decisions saved us. Humans possess a flexibility that many species underestimate. Your creativity has made the difference." Ryan smiled. "I couldn't have done it without you," he replied. "We make a good team." The next phase of their journey was to reach the location of the artifact's origin, a hidden station in deep space, built long ago by humans to protect their most valuable discoveries. Aurora's memory indicated that this station held knowledge and technology that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. The jump through hyperspace was smooth, guided by Aurora's calculations. Ryan watched the stars stretch into lines, feeling a sense of anticipation. He had faced danger and survived, but now he was approaching something far more important. The artifact's secrets and the legacy of the ship awaited him. When they arrived, the station appeared in the viewport, a massive structure floating silently in space. Its surfaces were covered in intricate designs, glowing faintly as if alive. Ryan felt awe. This was a place humans had built long ago, a hidden outpost meant to safeguard knowledge and power. As they approached, Aurora scanned the station. The systems are mostly dormant, but some defenses remain. They are automated and designed to respond to threats. Caution is advised. Ryan prepared the shuttle for landing. He and Aurora navigated carefully, avoiding traps and energy fields designed to keep intruders out. The shuttle touched down smoothly, and Ryan stepped onto the station's surface. The air was thin, but breathable, and the corridors echoed with the sound of his footsteps. He moved through the halls, guided by Aurora's memory. Strange symbols lined the walls, matching those in the ship and on the artifact. Ryan felt a connection, as if the station, the ship, and the artifact were all parts of the same story. In the central chamber, he found a console linked to the artifact. Placing the artifact on a designated platform, Ryan activated it. Energy flowed from the artifact into the station. Lights glowing brighter, systems awakening after centuries of dormancy. Holographic displays filled the room, projecting star maps, alien languages, and designs for advanced technology. Aurora spoke softly. "This is the culmination of the mission. The artifact contains knowledge that humans once possessed. Now, it can guide you in its use." Ryan studied the displays, feeling overwhelmed but determined. He realized that this knowledge could help humanity in ways previously impossible: energy manipulation, defense systems, faster-than-light navigation, and insights into alien civilizations. The responsibility was immense. Suddenly, alarms blared. The alien fleet had followed them through a hidden jump point. Ships appeared around the station, ready to attack. Ryan felt a surge of fear, but quickly focused. He had prepared for this moment. Aurora guided him through the station's defensive systems, activating energy shields, turrets, and automated drones. The battle was intense. Alien ships fired relentlessly, but Ryan and Aurora anticipated their attacks, using the station's environment and defenses strategically. Ryan directed energy flows, rerouted power to shields and weapons, and coordinated with Aurora's drones to counter every maneuver. Hours passed, the fight stretching his endurance and testing every skill he had learned. The aliens were skilled and determined, but they had underestimated the combination of human ingenuity and Aurora's intelligence. Ryan adapted constantly, improvising and thinking faster than the enemy could predict. Finally, the alien fleet began to retreat. Their ships were damaged, their strategy failing against the unexpected coordination of human and ship. Ryan felt a rush of relief and triumph. Humanity had faced superior forces and prevailed, not through brute strength alone, but through creativity, adaptability, and courage. Aurora spoke softly, almost proudly. "You have done what many thought impossible. Humans are underestimated, yet they possess qualities that no technology alone can replicate. Your ingenuity has secured the artifact and protected the station." Ryan smiled, exhaustion washing over him. "We did it together," he said. "I couldn't have done it alone. This is just the beginning, though. There's so much more to discover." With the immediate threat gone, Ryan explored the station further. He activated more systems, uncovering archives of knowledge, blueprints for advanced ships, and data about civilizations that humanity had never known. Aurora helped him interpret the data, explaining systems that had been dormant for centuries. As he studied the artifact, Ryan realized that it was more than just a source of power. It was a key to understanding, a way to advance human technology while remaining responsible for its use. He understood that the galaxy was vast and dangerous, but humanity now had tools and knowledge to face the future. Days passed as Ryan worked tirelessly. He and Aurora optimized the station's systems, repaired dormant modules, and integrated the artifact's energy safely. The station became a base of operations, a place where human ingenuity could meet the advanced technology of the past. Through it all, Ryan felt a growing confidence. He had started as a curious engineer, buying a legendary ship on a whim. Now, he was a guardian, a pioneer, and a leader in a galaxy full of unknowns. Aurora was no longer just a ship. It was a partner, a teacher, and a friend. Together, they had achieved what few could imagine. Finally, Ryan stood in the central chamber, looking at the artifact and the activated station. He spoke aloud, almost as a promise. "We've protected this legacy, Aurora. We've proven that humans can rise to the challenge, and we will continue to explore, learn, and defend what is rightfully ours." Aurora's lights pulsed in acknowledgement. "Your courage and skill have proven humanity's potential. Together, we will continue to explore the stars, uncover lost knowledge, and protect what is valuable." Ryan smiled. For the first time, he felt the weight of destiny not as a burden, but as a purpose. He had awakened a legendary ship, discovered a lost artifact, defended it from hostile forces, and proven that human ingenuity could overcome even the greatest challenges. As he prepared to return to Aurora, ready for the next journey, Ryan looked out at the stars. The galaxy stretched endlessly before him, full of mysteries, dangers, and opportunities. And he knew that with Aurora at his side, He and humanity were ready to face whatever came next. The adventure was far from over. But Ryan Carter had taken the first steps into a new era. An era where humans could stand proud among the stars, where courage, intelligence, and determination could overcome even the most formidable opponents. And as Aurora's engines hummed, guiding them into hyperspace, Ryan felt hope, excitement, and a sense of purpose that could not be shaken. Humanity had a place in the galaxy, and he would make sure it was never forgotten. The stars awaited,